Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show. I am running late as usual. 5:30 is not it's not the 5:30 I expected it to be. But doesn't matter. So I was trying to update a thing on my site, and it is giving me all kinds of grief. I don't know why it's not doing what I want it to do, but I have a feeling it has to do with just being cursed, honestly. No, just I don't think I'm really cursed. But I have been having some problems with my site, with uploading things on my site. So the frustration that I am going through right now is hard to explain, unless you have to work with WordPress on a regular basis. It's hard to explain why this is so painful. Um, Let me see if it's going to do it for me. So it's first of all, it's taking forever today. Here, I'll show you what I mean. So like this is the Hermetic harmonization. So I just wanted to announce that oh, there it is. See, there's no picture here. There's no picture, and there should be a picture there. And when you click on, see, it fails to. Frustrating is what it is. But anyway, it should be showing this picture. It's the same product. There's no reason this wouldn't load over there, but it's not gonna. But anyway, the 17th, we're gonna do the next 7 spheres tune-up. It is the Hermetic harmonization. That's where Nicole plays all the notes of the 7 spheres, while I do conjurations of the planets, the gods of the planets, the archangels, and the spirits of the talismans from the Key of Solomon pinnacles. And the idea is that we're conjuring the deity, the archangel, and the 4 spirits that represent the power of that planet in the material world, right? So that we're expressing all of our cleaning out all the different channels and tapping into the powers that we receive when we're descending, according to the divine Pymander, when we're descending through the spheres towards manifestation, we acquire a portion of the powers of each of the spheres, and this ritual is designed to help you tap into those, keep your connections to them clean, keep your forces harmonic. If there are astrological forces that are aligned against you in your transits or whatever, this ritual also offers charity on your behalf. And last time we had you bring your own sigil, so you were able to charge a sigil with the powers of the 7 spheres for manifestation. I want to see if you've participated in that. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments on the video. I would love to hear how that is going for you. I think it's going great, but I think the best way to sell this product is to tell other people how cool it is. So anyway, that's coming up on the 17th. But yeah, so that actually, so today's topic is not that. I'm not here to talk about sales all the time. Today I want to talk about something really important, especially in with the recent events that have been going on in our country here in America. I am having a bad time. I don't know if you know or not, but I am pretty liberal. I'm not as liberal as some. I think I try to keep an open mind, but not so open that my brains fall out, that kind of thing. I consider myself centrist, but the right has gone so far right that the center that I was a centrist in is like super left now. So that's how I ended up drifting left. I drifted left by staying the same. But yeah, if you're, basically if you're not a far right extremist at this point, you got to have some concerns about what's going on in America, right? There's forces of darkness at play. I was watching Captain America the other day because I was interested to see when it came out. It was during a different presidency, right? And there was a lot going on, and America was a different kind of America. And watching Captain America and Marvel, which is the whole right wing whatever here in America, they're super into their cartoons and their comic books and their comic book heroes and their complete misunderstanding of the comic book heroes. And I was like, Marvel was really big here in America. Marvel was super big, and Captain America was one of the best parts of the whole thing. And he was all about fighting Nazis. He was all about fighting Nazis. And it's like, you're heroes, guys, and now you're the wrong side. You're all Hail Hydra. Anyway, whatever, douchebags. Not for me to say. But it's darkness. It's darkness. It's a dark time. It's a dark time to be alive. You know, we're stuck against we're up against, oh my gosh, I had the perfect picture for this, but I think I deleted them all trying to make up room for stuff. Rumble. Anyway. Oh, sigh. Oh, it makes me angry. Anyway, actually, maybe I do have a way to show it. But the point is, what is the point? The point is that, hang on, I want to change something real quick. This, all right. So Hamza, we are in a world, a material world, full of dark forces, and it's you know, when you look back at the, like, I want to say from like 2008-ish, right? 2008 until about 2016, those 8 years were in my opinion really great. I really liked it a lot. We had a lot of good stuff going on. Things were progressive. Things were progressing. You know, we had gay marriage approved. LGBTQ stuff was very accepted, and you know, it was we were moving towards a more, you know, we had a black president. We were moving towards a more cohesive, united country. And somewhere around there, I believe it was Russian and Chinese forces subverted our democracy by advertising horse crap on Facebook and other social media X, and it basically it made it really cool to be a Nazi. That's, I don't want to put it, I don't know how else to put it, but you know, I was watching Captain America. It said the German guy that created the super serum for Captain America is having this conversation with the pre super serum guy, and he said, or Steve Rogers, right? He's talking to him. He says, you know, people forget that the Nazis invaded Germany first. You know, he was a German who had left to get away from Hitler, and that's the thing, is the Nazis invaded Germany first. America has been invaded by the far right. You know, MAGA it's in my opinion, it's the same thing as the Nazis. It's not that different. It's not different enough for it to be anything other than what it is. It's fascism, and it's terrible. And you know, it's dark times. It's dark times. It's darkness. A lot of my friends are very into protesting, into fighting against it, and doing something to change the political landscape. I myself am doing things as well. I haven't protested as much as I probably think I should have. But I also have been doing a lot more work with the spirits on this kind of thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I know I'm not the only one doing magic about this stuff, but they're falling apart. You know, they're starting wars in Venezuela now, trying to distract things from the Epstein files, which are getting released. And when they tried to redact it, it wasn't redacted. And like everything that they're trying to do along the way, people are like, how are they so incompetent? What kind of morons and buffoons are they? They are cursed. They are cursed. Everything they do is going to break. You know, and that's just how it is. But it's not enough to disempower them until we get, you know, things to change. So how do we do that? Fighting against the darkness is what I really want to talk about. And this is just an example. And I don't want this to be like, if you think liberals are the darkness and Trump is like somehow the savior, you know, I think you're sick. But whatever. I'm not going to argue with anybody about it. The darkness is the darkness, right? And if you see darkness, and I'm not saying that the left is all light and shining. It's not. It really isn't. There's the corruption on the left. I mean, it is deep, and the lack of movement by Democrats and in our country it's revolting. And the support of Israel, in spite of the, you know, it's just it's a nightmare time to be alive. right? All the people that are supposed to be standing up for justice are bending us over and taking advantage of us, you know? And it's not just us, it's everybody in the world. And it's the strong are oppressing the weak. They are fighting against us. They're taking away our freedoms. They're taking away our voice. They're taking away our opportunity. And that's the biggest thing for me. You know, I'm into entrepreneurship. I'm a Taurus. I'm very into making money. The exactly. I agree with Brad. If it walks like and talks like a goose, it's probably bullshit. Anyway, yeah. But the thing that we're trying to do here is these forces always come back, right? You know, like we beat the Nazis back, and we beat down the South. You know, the North America, the Union beat the Confederacy, right? And I saw somebody say the other day that the reason we're dealing with this crap is because nobody ever properly dealt with the Confederacy. And I think what they mean is probably like final solution, but I'm not into that. I don't think that solves anything either. I don't think genocide of your enemies is ever a good way to go. But yeah, none of these forces that we have in our society are working for us. They're not working for us. I don't mean they aren't. I mean, a lot of people will say they're not working at all, but they are working. They are working for the billionaires. I was talking to someone today about the 5 families that control everything, that are descended from the Roman senators. You know, it's I don't know how much of that I'm. But the point is, our heroes aren't fighting for us. Our politicians aren't representing us. You know, our people that we put up there to take care of us are not taking care of us. And because of that, the populist appeal, you know, because people were suffering, you know, the white guy president was able to appeal to their feeling sad about themselves and sorry for themselves, and pointed at immigration. And that's what the right always does. It's always the immigrants, okay? And as soon as somebody starts talking about how bad the immigrants are about anything, they're feeding you the lines of fascism, you know? And it appeals to people who are suffering and they don't want to have to fight against their own government, their own rulers. They don't want to admit that their representatives are representing interests that are opposed to their health, right? So like, I don't want to look at my Democratic representatives and find out that they're totally corrupt and they're taking bribes from Google and Amazon so that they can build these polluting data centers over in Everett. You know, I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about how they're, you know, out there saving the environment and protecting the earth and educating the next generation so that we don't keep doing this stuff, and that they're effective and all this stuff. But that's not the stories that you hear. You hear about them finding gold bars in these Democratic senators' refrigerators. You know, this one guy I don't remember his name. He just went to jail, him and his wife. He blamed his wife for all of it. He said, "Oh, that wasn't my gold bars. That was my wife's gold bars." What the fuck? Dude, come on. You know? Nobody represents us is what I'm saying. And if you're in the government, if it's a person who's in the government, they're not for us. Okay? They're not. If they're running, if you've heard of their name, they've already sold their soul, you know? Tool had that part of the song. It was like, "I sold my soul to make a record, you dipshit. You know, I sold out long before you even heard my name." If you're hearing their name, you know, AOC, great. Mum Dami, great. Bullshit. They aren't after supporting us. They never have been. All right, and I don't want to be like. I'm happy when Democrats are in charge, and I'm mad when Republicans are. You know, it's not like that. Okay, I'm mad at the Democrats too. They suck too. But as magicians, you guys, right? Life is hard. Magic helps. As magicians, our job, our goal in life is not to get dark with the darkness, right? And this is something I've been working on lately. If about this whole pursuit of the source and finding your inner connection to the divine, and really tapping into that consciously, and using that and focusing on it and directing that connection, directing your awareness, your attention towards that connection, and letting that activity somehow mysteriously manifest in your life. And that's what it does. It does it in these amazing ways, because what it does is it changes what our focus is. And when we change what we're focusing on, we change what we're expressing and what we're experiencing. Okay, and the darkness of this world, these political times, this I wasn't going to have this conversation today, okay, but what happened with the Venezuelan president, I mean, it's just too much to keep pretending like everybody knows what they're supposed to do. It's we don't know what we're supposed to do. I mean, I do. I know what I'm supposed to do. But a lot of people don't know what to do, and they're just feeling lost and angry and upset, because it's so dark. It's a dark fucking time. The president of the United States of America was supposed to be, freedom for all, and the land of liberty, where people go to from around the world to escape tyranny, is run by a fucking tyrant right now. And we aren't doing anything about it. I mean, come on. Right? It's frustrating. But when you focus your attention on the darkness, energy follows thought. Your attention, I've said this before, your attention, the reason we say that you're paying attention is because attention is the currency of our experience, of our existence, of our lives on Earth. The things that fuel our experience are directly tied to what we're looking at right now. Okay? The dark forces of this world keep you chained to darkness by keeping your attention focused on the darkness. Trump doesn't have to be good or bad as a president. He has to distract you to keep you in darkness. Do you remember when Obama was president? Do you remember how great it was compared to now? Do you remember the shit you posted on the internet because you were so pissed about everything else that was going on in your life? I do. I was drinking because I was so depressed. I was so miserable. So sorry for myself. I drank a lot. Actually, I did it because my brain would cycle if I didn't. But, I mean, by the time... So the problem with booze is it turns you into a self-pitying sack of shit. I mean, no offense, but it's what it did to me anyway. So, in no time, that was all I cared about. But the point is, that's not what I want to talk about. The darkness, right? And honestly, alcoholism is an escape from the darkness. It's an attempt to escape the darkness. But every time you try to escape the darkness by fighting the darkness... by going against the darkness yourself, you're exhausted, you're tired, you're oppressed, you're mad, you're angry, right? And even when times are good, you're not happy either, is what I'm trying to say. There's a darkness intrinsic in our lives when we focus on anything that's other than the light. Because our attention, right? Energy follows our attention. Okay, and I'm not saying ignore everything that's going on in the world that's dark. Just focus on the light. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying turn your attention to your source. Okay, your source is the light. Lux, Lvx. Light and extension. Lvx Ad Tenebras is this big lofty thing. I'm not Lvx Ad Tenebras. I'm not light in the darkness. Light from the darkness. Light from the darkness. Okay, now... No, it's the light against the dark. Lux contra tenebras. We are against the dark. Okay? We are magicians. We are the embodiment of the light. Right? We are. We really are. We are not ignorant brothers and sisters. We are not the ignorant brethren in the Bible. I'm not trying to be sexist. That's just, I'm referring to a biblical thing, and the Bible is so fucking sexist. You can't do it without. Anyway, point is we're not ignorant, my siblings. We are not ignorant, and we're not in darkness. We have been illuminated by our magical experiences. We have tasted the power of magic. We've seen it manifest in our lives, and we've seen that the process of making it happen is rising through the spheres and returning in power. And what do you do when you rise through the spheres? You experience the light. You approach the light, and when your attention is focused on the light, you have power and you have the ability to change your life. Right? And you come back down and you direct this energy, this light into your life, and it shines. Right? And shining is how you defeat the darkness. Okay? I have this thing, or that over here. the thing, whosoever therefore shall know themselves, right, shall also know God. Oh my God, why is everything so difficult? Everything is difficult. Do you guys have that problem? Like everything you do, you have 58 things you have to do first, and it's all things that you have screwed up along the way. I don't know about you, but that's definitely happens to me once in a while for sure. But it's not. I found a different picture for this. It's a different way of saying know thyself. And anyway, I'm gonna try to share this with you because I think it's another way of putting it. I don't know if I'm supposed to share memes on YouTube. I feel like I should be able to. But let's see here. Downloads. Do. Everything is grouped wrong. Here we go. Okay. Ta-da! This. Know thyself. Then thou shalt know all kinds of other cosmic shit. That's basically the same thing. All right, and I think this came from Chaos. This came from Sage-like shit posting from Logan Ferreira, December 29th. Anyway, this is basically it, guys. This is the same thing as... oops. Which one is that then? Interesting. Now I can't turn it off. Oh, because it's this one. Aha, okay. So, yeah. Whosoever therefore shall know themselves, right? Same thing. Know thyself. Then thou shalt know all kinds of other cosmic shit. And how all things may be fitted for all things in their time, place, order, measure, proportion, harmony, and can draw and bring themselves even as a lodestone draws iron. Right? It's the same thing. Know yourself is the key. Open your eyes to the inside. All right? When we do magic, right? What's the first thing we do? Banish. Right? Banish. I don't do the LVRP. Sometimes I do. I forget it though. I don't do the LBRP because I don't even remember it anymore. But yeah, you banish. Like the first thing, or after I do my evocation of the all thing in my ritual, we consecrate this ground for our defense. It's a consecration. It's a banishing the darkness. It's eliminating the ability of the darkness to interfere with what you're doing. And what you're doing is you're turning your attention away from the world around to what you're here for. The matter at hand is the magic, right? We're not here to look at all that other crap. I wonder if I can do that. Okay, yeah. So we're not here to look at all that other crap. We're here to look at what we're doing with magic, right? That's why we banish everybody or everything else, LBRP or whatever you're doing. You banish because you want to focus on what you're doing, on the magic, right? You've separated yourself from the world, from the darkness, so that you can turn your attention to the light, to the inside, to where the light comes from. Okay, that's why we banish. That's because when we're doing magic, we're expressing the Lvx, Lvx, right? It's fun to stay at the Lvx. If you're a Thelmite, you're probably laughing. But the Lvx is is what we're doing with the magic. We're enlightening the world. And when it comes to fighting the darkness, you don't have to do anything but shine. Okay? You don't have to do anything but shine, right? And shining defeats the darkness. You aren't going to shine looking at the Epstein files, right? Pumping that darkness into your brain isn't going to make you a shinier person. Okay, I have a very good friend in the mundane world who sent me this description of what happened according to the Epstein files, according to the testimony of one of the victims. It was horrifying. It's nightmare fuel. Okay, there was a time I was so toxic. I was so toxic back in the day that I used to watch terrible movies on ogreish.com, which I don't think is around anymore, but that's where I saw the actual beheading of Saddam Hussein, and that was the last disgusting thing I've ever watched. I don't watch disgusting things anymore. That was in whatever year he was offed in, and I was like, oh, okay, no more. You know, that was just too much. There's a thing that happens to you when you see something that awful. You've internalized a part of existence that you knew happened, but was not, that you hadn't witnessed, you hadn't borne witness to. And it changes you when you witness something that awful, you know? And I didn't want to go down that path any further. I'd seen enough, because it made me darker. You know, I have a darker outlook on life now. And I don't like it. I wish I hadn't done that, you know? And some people will say it's more realistic. That's true, but everybody doesn't have to know that. You know, you don't have to know that happens. You can know it happens without seeing it, without letting it change you. And you can live your whole life that way, and that's okay. That's actually better to not see horrors. I hate that is even something we have to say. It's better not to see horrors than to have to experience it. Jesus. Anyway, you can't pay attention to all that stuff. And what I mean is, you know what's in the files. You know what a pedophile is. You don't have to see the details. It corrupts you to pump darkness into your brain. It cures you to pump light into your brain. And the only source of light in this universe is the same light that's shining out of the sun, that is transformed through the grass and through our cells into the electricity that we have inside ourselves, right? And that light is going to come out of us. All right, the light of the sun is what we express through our lives, through our breath. Okay, everything that we're expressing is converted light. The energy, the electricity in our cells goes back to the Asgardians. And I'm not talking about, oh my God, I was talking about Marvel earlier, now I'm talking about the Asgardians. Oh, the Asgardians are not the Marvel Asgardians. The Asgardians are the first form of life that everything on Earth shares in common. Like, if you check our genetics, everything on life eventually goes back to one set of entities, one set of cells, and they were called, and biology, they refer to them as the Asgardians, and I guess it's because they're whatever, because they are Norse, and they figured it out somewhere in the Nordic countries, or maybe they're Marvel fans. I don't know. I would hate to find out that they were Marvel fans and that they named our earliest ancestor after some comic book, but I wouldn't be surprised, because this is life on Earth, and Earthlings are stupid. Earthlings are so stupid, you know, and it's because we don't know what's going to happen. We're ignorant of our fate. We don't know what's going to happen. We define our lives by what we don't know. We don't know, so we're afraid of it. We don't know, so we're hopeful for it. We don't know, so we're anxious. We don't know, so we don't know. We don't know. We're ignorant. You know, that's the darkness we're fighting against, is ignorance. You know? And it's not a mystical, hokey thing. This is something that anybody can find out for yourself. And you find it out by doing anything that involves visualizing you sinking into the light, a candle flame. Visualize it in your brain. Okay? And by the way, when you visualize things, the light that illuminates your thoughts is coming from your brain. It's not just a picture that's made by electricity forming on your thing. It's not. It's light. Your brain is seeing light. They can sense. They have sensors now where they can sense the light that comes out of brain cells. All right? We glow. Luminous beings are we. It's true. But that light expresses itself through everything we do. Okay? Now, magicians have miraculous powers to change this world. Okay? We conjure spirits with our secret wisdom. We know their secret names. We know their secret seals. We know what time is the best time to call them so that they're not going to be away from the phone. We know not to bother them in the bathroom. You know, we know these mysterious things, and it lets us change the world in ways that are in keeping with our desires, right? And yet, so much of our magic, I mean, I don't know about you. I'm sure your magic works 100% of the time, all the time. But my magic does not always work. I often find myself doing magic for things that doesn't happen as quickly as I want, or that happens in a way that is so watered down. It's not what I wanted anymore, right? And if you've heard me talk about this before, it's why I say after 2 weeks, if you didn't get what you wanted, do the magic again, and this time say, show me what I'm doing wrong, because it's always me that's screwing up my manifestation. And once I figure out what's out of harmony with what I'm trying to draw to myself as a lodestone draws iron, once I figure out what that is, and I fix it, and then I do the ritual again, bam, it works. But the way I find out what's screwed up in me is I go to the light, and I shine the fucking light on my darkness. And I change my darkness with the light, because the light makes it go away. The light makes the darkness go away, and the reason that you can be effective in your magic is when you get rid of the shit inside yourself that stands in the way. There's not anybody out there that can fucking stop you. You're the one that consents to their obstruction, right? I'm not saying this like, oh, well, if there's a gun pointed at your head, you have to, well, I mean, that's different. It is not different. It is not different. Death is an illusion. Fucking Luffy, the fucking stupid cartoon pirate, gets it better than most of the magicians I talk to. Almost everybody I know, right? Aren't you afraid to die? No. You know, why? So he's talking about he wants to do something big, right? And someone's like, "Oh, you can't do that. You might die. They'll kill you. What if they kill you?" He says, "That's okay. If you die trying to get what you really want, that's okay." Oh, that's it, you guys. If you die trying to get what you want, it's okay. It's okay. This is a thing that people don't seem to get. And they're like, oh, that's crazy. Are you going to die for what you believe in? Yes. Yes, you are going to die for what you believe in. Because guess what? You're going to die anyway. You know? And magicians, once you've done your Saturn initiation, you know death is bullshit. And what we are doing here is shining light against the darkness. And the darkness wins when you're not paying attention to your source of your light, when you're not refilling yourself with that light, when you're not aware of what you really are. Holy crap, you're so cool. Oh man, this is the thing. I get all excited about it. We are really, really intensely, amazingly awesome. We're great. Human beings are fucking... We've got all 7 spheres, the powers of every quality that creates every experience we can express with our words. We can hang out with the gods. We can hang out with the archangels and demons, and we can talk to them about what we want, and we can resonate things into being. What? It's pretty cool to be a human being, you know? But we get sidetracked by the darkness. When your eyes are closed, you can't see anything. When there's no light, you can't see anything, right? But as a magician, we know when you close your eyes and turn your attention to the light, it fills you. It fills you. It provides you with the power to be the light in the darkness, to be able to see where you're going, to be able to see why you're not getting what you want, to be able to see what you need to change, if you need to change anything, or if you don't. You can see who's fighting against you, and you can stop fighting with them. And then they're fighting by themselves. That's on them. They can't stop us. Nothing can stop us unless we quit. What if it kills you? That's okay. We'll come back. We'll come back again and again and again and again and again. And I'll come back again and again and again if I have to. I don't care. I got billions of lifetimes left. Fuckers, bring it. Let's do it, you know? That's the thing about being a magician, you guys. We know things. We have power to change things. We understand what we're doing in ways that other people don't. We don't have to fight with their rules or with their weapons or with their ideas. We aren't fighting against that crap. That crap is fighting to get us away from the light. Because when we all shine the light, everybody else can see too. That's what magicians do. We pursue the light. And I'm not saying you have to fucking serve everybody. Okay? I think that a lot of people think that you have to be nice and good all the time to be enlightened. And it's not that. I'm not nice and good when I'm feeling enlightened. You know, I'm just not fighting because I'm pursuing the light. You know, I'm not being nice to people by not punching them in the face. I'm pursuing the light, you know? Anyway, this is all mystical stuff, all right? The reason I have Rufus Opus Mystagogue, you know, right down there. The reason I have Rufus Opus Mystagogue there is because I am talking about the mysteries here. Okay, and the mystery is that when you pursue the light, everything else falls into place. I don't know why. Okay, I was talking to someone today about where do all these symbols come from? Where does the magic come from? You know, the power of the magician it comes from the magician, right? And we're all expressions of the unified thing that has many tendrils. You know, the spaghetti monster. It's really just one big spaghetti. It's just one noodle. You know, it looks like many appendages, but it ain't. It's just one string wrapped around itself. That's quantum string theory too, by the way. Yeah. Anyway, I get upset. I get upset when I find myself once again distracted in the darkness by the things that are dark. I get upset with myself. I feel sorry for my friends who are also distracted by the darkness. It's not good. It ain't good to put that darkness inside of you, you know, and you look at the darkness and it's a goddamn shame, right? And what do? We fight. Okay, we're not here to fucking have a good time with it and be like, oh well, it'll go away if I just shine my light. No, you shine your light sometimes with your fists. Okay, it's a fist of justice. You know, it's the reason that might makes right is because that's what it takes to get the light in. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you gotta crack the head open to get the light in. It's not my fault. Okay, and it sounds like I'm advocating violence. I'm being metaphorical here, okay? I'm not talking about being violent. I really do believe that if we just pursue our source, everything else is going to fall into place, you know. But sometimes when things are falling into place, for me, like I've got this business project I'm doing. I did a big magical spell for my business project, and then to let it go so it can manifest, every time I get anxious about it, I go back to my source and I do my Zeus ho Kephale, Zeus ho Mesos, Zeus ho Pantocrator, you know, because Zeus is the thing, right? For me, that's the name I put on it. It's the source. That's the thing. That's what I want, you know. I want that experience of that power coming through me into my life. So rather than, I don't want to be anxious about whether or not my plans are going to work. I don't want to worry about it. And it takes time. You know, everything takes time. I was looking at the myth of the how necessity Ananke merged with Chronos, time. Necessity and time merged together to become the serpent that wrapped itself around the Orphic egg, out of which Phanes came, right? And Phanes' first act was to bring forth Eros, right? Desire. So necessity, time, power, source of power, raw power, and desire. Those are all aspects of the unified forces that created the drive to create, right? Necessity, time, desire. That plus power equals existence. Okay? Those are the driving forces. You know? Experiencing that is something that we have to do. There's a necessity to it. Participating in it is something we have to do, right? Because we're in time. It's part of what we're doing. You know, we were given these powers. We were given the awareness of these powers. The divine Pymander is talking to you, magician. That's why you're drawn to this magic shit. Who the fuck believes in magic in 2026? People who fucking know it works. That's who. People who are drawn to it because they're destined to. That's who. It's your fate that drew you to it. You know? B.J. Swain talks about the witch blood. You know, witch blood is... Who has witch blood? Well, only some people have it, or maybe everybody does, or maybe you get it from an experience, or whatever. You know, it's your fate. All those different ways that you end up with witch blood is your fate. The reason you're a witch is because it's your fate to do magic. Who believes in magic? Magicians. What do we do with it? We pursue the light and we shine what we want to have happen into this world through our actions. Empowered, harmonious, you know, and it's not easy. It's work just like everything else is. Okay? It's not everybody does it for you while you sit there eating ice cream. And people who tell you it is are fucking living on their goddamn mother's pension plan. Okay? They are not doing it themselves. All right? We work on Earth for our joy. It is joyful to work. And anybody who tells you different is full of shit. They are the darkness. They are trapping you in lies and empty promises that they can never fulfill. And they will leave you empty, hungry, broke on the side of the road while they go fuck over someone else who still has money left. And it's always about money. Okay? They're working you. Okay? People who say that they don't work for money, they're working you. All right, you're giving them money. You know, most people who are here and people who say, "Oh, I can do this and not have to work. I'll buy that." That's why you have to work, is because you keep giving your money to people who tell you that you don't have to work. You know, the only way you're ever going to have to not work, sorry, as long as you have to eat to be able to breathe. You know, I've heard that there are these. Oh my God! Even in the Far Eastern cultures, there's these ideas that you can survive on air and water, right? And you talk to these guys who are doing it, and they're eating rice. They're eating rice, you know, and it's like, oh, so you're actually living on rice? Oh, it's dew and sunlight. That's where my true source comes from. Okay. All right, but people in the West are selling that shit to you. Okay, in the East, they're like, yeah, we eat rice, but we get our true nourishment from the air and from the light and from existence on Earth. Our existence is nourished by the pursuit of our inner light, right? That's what they're saying, but we eat rice. Everybody else is like, oh, they're living on light and dew, and for $14.95 a month, I will show you the 20-year process it will take for you to be able to do that. Horse shit, you guys. Life is work, and work is fun. When you're building something you want, as long as you're working for someone else, you aren't going to have a good time. But if you turn all of your work for someone else into work for yourself, then you're building something. You're building something for fun and for personal profit and personal joy. And it brings you such fulfillment, And that's what the biggest transformation of magic is, I think, for a lot of people, is realizing that we're working for ourselves, or that we could be, right? If we got our eyes off of the bullshit and the dark shit and looked instead to our source, how powerful are the gods that you call on when you do magic? How powerful are they to change the world? The light is against the darkness, okay? All we have to do is shine. We have access to these powerful gods and their representatives, the forces that create our experiences. It's a power, and I'm not talking about I'm going to rule over everybody around me. I have all the magical power, or I'm going to be a complete jackass to everybody because I don't care about him anymore because I'm powerful. No, it's not like that. The power that we have comes from shining, and you can't shine if you're an asshole. I know some pretty big assholes, okay? And I'm not talking about political power or financial wealth. Okay, if you want those things, you can have those things. You're not gonna be any happier than Donald Trump. All right, and I know a lot of people are gonna tell me that he's pretty fucking happy. Well, he's not. All right, he's not. That's not the life you want. Do you want to live like if you believe the things that Donald Trump believed, would you still think it was worth living the life that he lives? I mean, look at his ankles. He wakes up in that body every day. You think he's having a good time? Why do you think he's like that? It's not hard to figure out, you guys. But the thing is he's not having the quality of life that I am. He's not experiencing the expression of divinity through his cells in a conscious participation. He's doing things that he thinks is going to make him happy that he ends up being very mad about later, But I'm doing things that really do make me happy, that I'm not mad about later, that get rid of the things that I would be mad about later. Wealth, power, fame. Great. For what? If it doesn't bring you happiness, if it doesn't bring you joy in your moment, it's bullshit. Because it is. It's just bullshit, And I'm not talking about you never suffer. Suffering brings wisdom. It's not bad to suffer either. How about that? It sucks to go through, and people who are going through it, well, this is literally evil. Yeah, it literally is. How am I supposed to deal with it? Shine? Feed me? No, it doesn't, does it? What are you going to do? Someone should pay for it. Okay. In the meantime, what are you going to do about it? You got to eat. Turns out that if you pursue your light inside, you'll find that people just bring you food. Ravens will bring you bread. If you love God, you guys, that's how it works. That's really literally how it works. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap things up. I hope you guys have a great week. I don't know. I don't know if I really got the point across. I think I ranted the way I wanted to though. But yeah, it's the light against the darkness, you guys, and you're the light. You're the fucking shining light. That's all we got. You know, it's just us. We are it. No one else is gonna fucking shine for us. You know? It's us. We have to do the shining. We're the only ones. We who turn our eyes to the bright light within are the only ones who can bring light into this world. Okay? And you're doing the world a favor by getting enlightened. You really are. You're doing them the biggest favor you can by overcoming your own darkness and letting it go. And it's not even overcoming it. It's just turning away from it and putting your attention on the light instead. Okay? The light draws you along through solving all your problems and doesn't solve them for you. Okay? I had to go through therapy. I had to let my brain regrow after I drank so much. You know, it took a long time. But, yeah, you have to go through it. The light, though, drags you through it. Okay? And when you're pursuing the light, the work doesn't feel like work. The stress doesn't feel like stress. And when it feels like stress, it's because you ran out of light and you're looking at the darkness again. Right? I'm not saying look on the bright side. I'm saying look at the source of the bright side. Look at the source of joy. Look at the source of love. Oh my God, love, you guys. Venus, right? Venus, Aphrodite, Eros, desire, love. Noga in Hebrew is the word for Venus. It means shine. It's bright. It's brightness. It's bright, shining light. That's what Venus even means. The principle of the light of heavens, right? It's Noga. It's the shining. It's I can't remember the word of it. It's splendor. Crap. Oh my God. Or it's gonna drive me nuts. I gotta look it up. The shining star. Literally, it means the shining star. Noga, the shining star. It's not the shining. It's the shining star, right? But it's shining. It's the brightness. What makes you attracted to things, right? Venus is the goddess of attraction, right? And the word that is the Hebrew word for Venus, the star, the shining star, is the shining star. It's the shining. It's the light. As you research this a little more, it's the light of Venus that she expresses, the light of beauty that makes people attracted. No shit, duh, right? It's light, the shining light of beauty that makes you want things. When you want something, you see something beautiful in it. It's shining beauty at you. That's why you want it. Or you're imagining beauty shining from it. That's what happens to a lot of fools. You know, we get this idea that if I get married to any woman and I will have every joy I ever had in my life. And then you marry the first person that comes along and it turns out that it didn't work out. And you're like, no, fuck marriage, right? Fuck all that stuff. And it's because you had this idea that being married was great regardless of the person that you were with. And that's not true. And when we have these ideas of these things and we pursue the idea without actually getting all the pieces and parts that are authentic, you know, we're operating out of darkness. But when you shine the light on it, you find out that there's a lot more to it, you know, and then you can manifest the things you really want because you're able to see clearly where your resources are, what your process of production is, or your process of creation, your chain of manifestation, you know, the proper proportions of the planetary powers that are necessary to perform the magical, I can't think of a thing that means manifestation with P, but the manifestation of your desires, right? You know, it's light. It's always light. It always comes back to light. And it's the light against the darkness, okay? We aren't from the darkness. It's not Lvx Ad Tenebras. It's Lvx Contra Tenebras, right? And if you want to fight this fucking darkness of this terrible fucking world right now, pursue your source and embrace your own light and turn it into your power, that you shine into this darkness and you will attract to yourself everything that you want, because it's the light, the beauty of your light, that will draw to you everything that you want. Okay? That's what this whosoever therefore shall know themselves is all about. You shall know all kinds of other cosmic shit. You'll know where the things come from, and it will just come to you because you're shining and it wants to be with you. Okay? That's what this is all about. That's why we do the Hermetic harmonization stuff, so that you can get clean enough to shine and you can see it for yourself. Holy cow. It's amazing. It's amazing when you shine, what you can get done. Anyway, I'm going to wrap things up. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Oh, wait, let me check the messages. Anyway, that's it for my show. Now I'll check the messages and discuss things. All right, correct. Where the attention goes, the energy goes. Allison says, oh no, I'm late. It's okay. Hope everybody had a great Sunday. I had a great Sunday. Let's see. Past 2 days have been that way for me. Yep. Read your book, Seven Spheres. Been taking my time, the Jupiter initiation. I appreciate your writing styles for the bullshit of today. Gurren Lagann? I don't know what that is. I'll have to check it out. It also creates loosh, which feeds the horrible ones. Oh, Diana, I don't know what loosh is. But it sounds great. True horrors change us. We had a good day today. Okay. Yes. Doesn't matter if we know yet. Corleone is one of my favorite people, by the way, you guys. That doesn't matter if we know yes or not. If in my life, I turn my attention back towards what I want, how I want to live. Exactly. Yep. Do we live if we cannot be, or do we are, or do who we are? I don't understand that one, but I'm still kind of. I got a little bit passionate there, and I'm having a hard time thinking straight right now. Whatever it takes, just do it exactly. I was practicing drawing Pune sigils on rice paper. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and drop things. Have a great evening. I will talk to you. I'll be on in the morning to do the mantra. So if that's how I'm pursuing my light these days. If you want to join me, I will be on hopefully around 8, maybe more like 8:30, because lately I'm having a hard time wanting to get out of bed as early as I have my whole life. I don't know if I'm getting older or I'm getting lazier or what, but for some reason, like, I've woken up at 5 a.m. Since I was, I want to say, at least 36, 37, right? And it's just, and that was almost 20 years ago now. And it's, yeah, all of a sudden I just want to sleep in. I don't know what it is, but like, it's usually I'd wake up because I was anxious, and I've been dealing with my anxiety lately, and everything's kind of going away, and maybe I'm finally starting to be able to sleep like a normal person, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, tomorrow around 8 or 8:30, somewhere in there, I will talk to you then. Good night. Lucia's energy. Oh, okay. All right, cool.